again, thank you everybody for staying with us with the summit, and hope you've been enjoying all the sessions. I am Anand Natarajan, and if you're looking to understand more about residential energy efficiency, you've come to the right place. There is something in it for everyone. So again, I'm Anand Natarajan. I'm the energy manager working out of the Mayor's Office of Sustainability for the City of Cleveland, and I'll be moderating the session today. We have a terrific lineup of speakers, and I will keep it my remarks very brief. Energy efficiency, right? I mean, it's very contextual now, and certainly if it's all the programs, if they're implemented right, can have tremendous benefit, especially from a homeowner's and occupant's perspective. Right? I mean, you can get a good occupant comfort. You can increase the homeowner's value. You can reduce your bills and so forth. There's a lot of benefit to that. And so we have a panel of distinguished speakers who are going to tell us how their organizations are delivering value, and also what we as residents and homeowners can do, right, in order to reduce our energy consumption. This is also very contextual today, right, because the natural gas prices, for instance, have been very volatile. If you've been following the market, it's been also increasing quite a bit. And also, as we're heading into winter in Northeast Ohio, there is something that we as homeowners and residents can control, which is how much electricity and natural gas our homes consume. So we're going to hear from Dominion Energy Ohio about their energy efficiency programs. We're also going to hear from CLEAResult about their program that they are implementing for Dominion Energy Ohio. And we're going to hear from CHN Housing Partners, who've been doing terrific work in trying to lower the energy burden for the low to moderate income sectors in the city of Cleveland. Without much further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce our first speaker, Marie. Marie Singer is the Energy Efficiency Program Coordinator at Dominion Energy Ohio, and she manages the energy efficiency programs offered by DEO currently and striving for a sustainable future. She's worked at Dominion for 9 years with varying roles from GIS, Geographic Information Systems, to pipeline integrity before her current role. Marie has a Bachelor's of Science in Zoology from The Ohio State University and Master's of Science in Conservation Biology from Antioch University, New England. She enjoys traveling and spending time with her husband and 3 dogs. Marie, take it away.
Thank you, Nod. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. As Nod said, I'm Mary Singer. I'm the Energy Efficiency Program Coordinator here at Dominion. And today we're going to talk to you about the 2 residential programs that Dominion sponsors, and CLEAResult and CHN help implement those programs for us. I'm just going to get started and pass it over to Thaddeus to talk about CHN and what they do housewarming, and then the other programs they have as well. Thank you.
Yes, Marie, you need to use that. Can you see the screen?
I can't see the screen. If it says anything, I can't see it. I can only see us talking at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
I think my connection's bad.
No problem. Let me go ahead and introduce that. Thank you again, Marie. So this is the home weatherization project manager at CHN Housing Partners. That is responsible for the day-to-day management of the housewarming program. His career is transitioned from performing field energy audits to managing energy programs. First as an assistant project manager and currently as a project manager for the housewarming program. He's a graduate from Penn State University with a Bachelor of Science degree in Industrial Technology and a Master's degree in Management. His career involved in energy efficiency projects management, which include weatherization systems, program, electric partnership program, housewarming program, healthy homes, Cleveland Energy Saver, and Reach. Folks, can you hear me okay? I've been getting some feedback that people are not able to hear me clearly. It's just my audio. Rusty and Ted, can you hear me okay?
Yeah. I hear you coming in pretty choppy.
It's right.
Okay. Can you just hear? Change. Here. Is it good?
You still sound pretty rough.
Okay. Okay. But So let me do the transition right now and share Thad's application. Let me know when you can start seeing this.
Okay. I don't know if everybody can hear me well, but I'll just get started here. So CHN Housing Partners is, you can go to the second slide, is a nonprofit organization. We've been in existence for the last 40 years. And the main things that we focus on is affordable housing for residents and housing stability services. We also lend loans to low income and middle to low income families to be able to have to own a home. The biggest things that we actually put a lot of effort in and resources is in real estate development and affordable housing, energy conservation and weatherization, utility and rental assistance, counseling and education, community building and engagement, and home lending. You can go to the next slide. We're going to talk on utility and energy services. Most of everybody is aware that a lot of resources go into utilities in most homes, in residential homes. And we focus on trying to reduce especially usage in low to moderate income households that end up spending 21% of their income in paying for the utilities. And the way we do that is we, you can go to the next slide, Anand. The way we do that is through energy conservation and weatherization. Next. So CHN has resources from different utilities that we work with and that provide grants to be able to reduce the energy burden. We get utility funds that assist renters and homeowners in lowering the energy use. Obviously, the biggest things that come out of doing a lot of the energy conservation are, homes become safer and save more energy, and obviously they become warmer if they were not insulated in the past. And all this is done through the conservation programs and utility funded programs that we have. So we have approximately 17 million in energy efficiency products and services annually, and these go to residential homes in making them more affordable. CHN completes, on average, about 7,000 jobs annually throughout Cleveland and Northeast Ohio territory. So we not only work in the Cleveland area, even though we are focusing on sustainable Cleveland, we actually go to other parts of the state of Ohio and provide these services to Dominion customers who meet the income guidelines to be able to receive the services that help them to reduce usage in their homes. The department spends on average $7,900 per home, and the way we justify this is making sure that the homes that we are putting the resources into are going to have a return on investment. So, for example, in a basic way, if a client was spending, say, $100 on their gas bill every month, if we go in and are able to put in insulation in the walls, air seal, the attic, do all the improvement measures, replace an old inefficient or unsafe furnace, that money that they're spending each month is reduced. And coupled with educating, the client with how to, maintain the improvements that are made, so that, they're not paying $100 as an example anymore, but it is reduced to less than that. And they're able to see savings, and we're able to justify, the return on the investment into the homes that are receiving these resources. So these are some of the leverage programs that we have. They are diverse, and the first one is housewarming, which is funded by Dominion Energy Ohio. And then we have the HVAC, which is funded by this state of Ohio. We have the Electrical Partnership Program that is funded by this state, and Cleveland Public Power by the utility, Cleveland Utility for Electrical. We have the first CEI, which is a first energy funded program. And then we have the water and sewer programs that are funded by the city of Cleveland and the regional sewer district of Cleveland, Northeast Ohio. So we leverage 53% of all these dollars are part of the leverage that goes into the homes. And what this really does that makes the program is very unique is we are able, not every program can do everything. So for example, housewarming may be able to go in and insulate the house and air seal. The electrical program could come in and upgrade the electrical box, and if it had fuses or there was unsafe wiring, that can be corrected through the electrical program. If there was extensive sewer issues or water leaks, that can be addressed through the sewer program or the water repair program. So we put all these resources together and try to make the home as efficient as possible, with as much waste as much waste reduced in that home as possible. So that's what all the leverage and the spending goes into. This is a feel-good drone footage that we did of one of the neighborhoods where we have done some insulation work and improvements with furnaces, hot water tanks, and electrical boxes. I don't know if it's playing. You can go ahead and play it, Anand.
Let me get it back.
Is there any sound to it or no? All right, you can go to the next slide. So how do we do our programs? You just that drone video clip is just a demonstration of all that goes into working at a home. So you saw contractors doing electrical work, contractors doing furnace work and installing a hot water tank, and you saw on the outside a crew insulating. So that's how this work is performed on a daily basis by the contractors that work for the program. And that's really how it is performed. You can go to the next slide. So before any work is performed, we have an energy auditor or inspector go out to the client that is qualified and that has been approved through an application process. And the client gets a full comprehensive inspection that determines what the house needs. So not every house has the same needs, and it's not one size fits all. So the inspection determines where the leaks, what is unsafe, what improvements need to be made, where is the energy waste that is taking place in this home. A lot of times it is homes that don't have insulation, or that have very old equipment that is falling apart, and that needs to be updated to what is current to really make those homes efficient. So the inspector would do an inspection and write specs on what the inspection showed them was needed, and then that's what would end up in a contractor's hands to perform the work. So this is just a slide that shows an example of what is done. There's on the picture there, a blower door is really what it depressurizes the house and actually shows how much leakage is taking place in that house. And that becomes like a baseline for where to start in terms of, okay, this house is not leaky, or it is moderately leaky, or it is very leaky. A lot of them are very leaky, meaning that they don't have any air sealing or insulation. And then once you get the baseline number, you have a target on, once the work is complete, what is needed to make sure that that house is going to be an efficient house. You can go to the next slide. So this is an example of a house that is leaky, and you can see the yellow is indicating that there's a lot of heat loss taking place in that house. And the heat loss will take place through walls, the roof, the attic, crawl spaces. And then on the other side, an insulated house, you can see a lot of the yellow, except around the windows, is gone. And that's a well-insulated house. So the a lot of times is very leaky. And then the post is once it's insulated and made efficient, is not leaky. And this is a visual of how a house would look like, and the impact it would have on reducing the utilities in that home. This is also just another clip of a picture with the arrows that shows where the house is losing heat and cooling, the areas where it's escaping. You can see in the attic, the crawl space, where the dryer and the washer are. So there's a lot of air leakage that takes place. And then the common problems are insulation, venting, and moisture, and through cracks and crevices. The mechanical equipment that normally have problems or issues are the venting, furnaces, boilers, space heaters, gas leaks. Obviously, we make sure that any gas leak that we identify is fixed and repaired, so that when we leave that house, we're leaving it in in a safe condition for the occupants. And we also make sure we install working carbon monoxide and smoke detectors. This is just another slide that shows just the different cycles of the work that is done, the focus area for the energy auditor. And it's similar to the one that we looked at a few slides ago that showed the blower door. This in red here is what it is. We can go to the next slide. So the inspector comes up with the plan for the improvements, and this would be a list of some of the things that are done in the home, a safety inspection, tune-up, or repair for the furnace, or replacement, depending on what is needed at that house. Water heaters, the same. We'll repair them or replace them if they're leaking or damaged or in poor condition. We will insulate attics and sidewalls, do ductware repair if there's any leaks in the ducts. We make sure that we educate the clients on making sure they have clean filters each and every month. We do pipe wrapping for the water lines. And then there's other things like electrical, the knob and tube, sewer repairs to improve any unsanitary situations that happen because of just one thing to keep in mind is the housing stock in Cleveland and in other parts of this state is much older housing stock. So sometimes with time, a lot of things need to be repaired or replaced depending on what the inspection determines. We also install LED bulbs and remove the incandescent ones that use a lot more electricity. And also some of the electrical partnership program and the First Energy will replace a fridge or a freezer if it's using a lot of electricity. We can go to the next one. So the next slides, this is just one of them, but the rest of them are client education focused. And Anand will just kind of go through this a little bit fast, but I'll just speak to this. So we have a very strong focus and emphasis on educating the clients who we serve. And each home is going to have different needs, and the inspector identifies what is a priority in that house in terms of educating the client. We'll look at their utility bills, the water, the sewer, the gas, electric, and it'll tell you something about that house. So we try to tie in what's going on with the house or what we find at the house with education. So these things are tied together and it helps the client understand, okay, this is what's going on in your house. And here's the knowledge that you need. Here's the education that you need, to make this improvement after we do this work. So we push client education because that's information that they can use after the work is done, after we are completed with what we're doing there. The knowledge and the education that is provided is something that can stay with them and that they can apply after the work's been done. So we try to have a heavy focus on that. So this one is about water saving. The next one, you can go to the next one. This one is on your laundry energy tips. This one is for heating your home in the winter. You can go to the next one. Cooking tips on how to save energy and lighting. Do you want to go to the next one? This is, tips for energy saving for your refrigerator and your appliances. So every home is going to receive this client information and education, and the inspector or the auditor who's there will take the time with the client and go over things that they can do based on that inspection that is going to help the client begin to implement these tips and begin to save energy and reduce waste in the home. You can go to the next one. So all these are the client education that we provide through all the utility resources that go into the house. So we have eligibility, and customers who qualify, it's based on the size of your household and the income in that household. If you meet the income guidelines, then you you are qualified to get the services, and it tells you what the percentage of the federal income guidelines are. And then this is the slide to just talks about how somebody can apply for the program. I will say that there is a big demand for the services because a lot of homes do need a lot of improvements in terms of energy reduction. And I think that's it.
Okay, thank you so much. Hope you guys can hear me. Just give a thumbs up to chat. That's powerful information. Very, very helpful. We also have the email from staff evaluating help. And can you hear me?
Hey, Anand, it sounds like your audio is still pretty bad. I'm not catching much of anything of what you're saying.
Okay. We're going to move to the next speaker, Rusty Campbell. So I'm going to try to introduce Rusty and just after the presentation.
Hi, in case you all missed that, I believe Anand is saying that Rusty can go next. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Hopefully you can hear me. I don't know if I assume maybe Anad's wanting me to introduce Rusty, which I can do. And I think I sorted out my audio problems. So, all right. So next is Rusty Campbell. He is the program portfolio manager for CLEAResult. Rusty is been with CLEAResult overseeing the Ohio operations. He has 10 years of experience in the energy efficiency industry, including being a home performance contractor, doing energy auditing, field and program management, and portfolio implementation for residential and commercial and industrial utility programs. Rusty?
Thanks, Mary. I feel like my bio is far less or far more underwhelming than the previous two. So yeah, maybe I should have bolstered that a bit. But yeah, thank you. And I want to say thanks to the city of Cleveland for giving us a chance to speak at Anand and team. Yeah, do you want to share Anand, or do you want me to share my screen?
I can share it in a minute.
Okay.
Coming up.
All right, looks like we're rolling. So to start, you mentioned CLEAResult. So I work for CLEAResult. We are headquartered in Austin, Texas. We started in 2003, and we are the largest energy solutions provider in North America. So offering different programs, a wide variety of anything that's really going to help conserve energy, the full implementation, execution of that. So today I want to focus really primarily on Dominion Energy here. And with that, Anand, if you want to progress to the next slide. So the question is, what do we do? So you'll hear a lot of similar themes between that and what I'm speaking to here, because it's a very similar delivery. We're addressing a lot of the same concerns, just within different financial demographics. So if you progress one more slide there. So with that, again, we commonly get we'll call it a stigma of utility programs only satisfy income-based clientele, so low-income customers, and there's only things for those low-income customers. So we want to make sure it's abundantly clear is that Dominion Energy does offer programs for more than just those income-based customers. So the market rate side of the equation here, there is a program that satisfies that directly. So we offer a award-winning home performance with Energy Star program. The program, as you can imagine, does hinge around the home energy assessment. So to kind of summarize, they schedule home energy assessment, and that's going to include really a slew of benefits. So standard cost for this is $25, and customers are going to receive the education and energy efficiency components of their home, how they're operating in areas of improvement, which that's going to be kind of packaged with that financial assistance in the form of rebates. And the process really starts with customer interviews. So we want to learn more about that home, how that consumer is utilizing the home, down to the degree of how are they setting the thermostat, where are they setting their water heat at, do they block vents, and different things like that. So we can truly understand and kind of hear those pain points customers may have. We go into interior and exterior inspections. And with that, we're going to evaluate the physical characteristics. So attic insulation, wall insulation, and trying to get hands on those materials just to make sure and confirm what's existing. Also want to do safety and efficiency testing on natural gas appliances, gas leak inspections, infrared scans, and then the diagnostic testing, such as the blower door test that we saw with that. So on our side, what we commonly hear it is it's that big red door that sucks all the air out of the house. Additionally, each assessment is going to include free energy saving measures. So energy efficient shower heads, energy efficient faucet aerators, water heater pipe insulation, and carbon monoxide detectors. And then for those that are interested, we also offer for a $75 fee a Nest E Smart Thermostat. So this is cool because it's for, again, just 75 bucks. That will cover the purchase of the actual thermostat and the installation of that. So in my experience, what we tend to see is the installation cost outside of a program like this can run anywhere from like $99 all the way up to $250. So the sheer fact of getting it through the program and kind of packaged together with the full assessment evaluation is a huge value. At the conclusion of the assessment, the findings are going to be reviewed with homeowners. So we want to go over the good and the bad and identify where those opportunities truly exist, and then also reiterate where that homeowner is already doing well. But we want to identify things such as attic insulation, wall insulation, air sealing, HVAC equipment and replacements, window and door replacements. So in the next couple of slides, I'll show you some of these lists, applicable rebates, and some of the qualifying criteria with that. But in short, the rebates are up to $1,250, but the specifics do vary. As again, Thad mentioned, each home is different, so we want to tailor everything we do to the individual home. But yeah, so kind of again, to summarize that assessment in a nutshell. So Anand, if you want to progress one slide. All right. So what you'll see on the screen here is a quick list of HVAC kind of oriented measures that we offer in the applicable rebates. So obviously they cover a variety of measures, but keep in mind that these measures they're based on a natural gas utility program, so they are focused on generating natural gas savings. That said, it's obviously going to be beneficial across the board in terms of energy efficiency. So with this one, we tend to see a lot of HVAC replacements. That tends to be one of our more frequently redeemed rebates through the program. And those rebates specifically apply towards furnaces at 96% annual fuel utilization efficiency or higher. And then from the boiler side, at 90% AFUE or higher. And both of those are designed to be in line with both Energy Star specifications and the Ohio Technical Resource Manual minimum efficiency levels. And on one more slide. And next slide here is covering more building shell improvements. I just want to pause here on this one and kind of pivot a little bit and say, there's an obvious point I think we need to bring attention to with this, and that's the fact that insulation, shell measures, that attic insulation, that wall insulation creates value in every month of the year. So not just the cold that we constantly hear and are told this myth of. It creates similar benefits in the summer as well. So as consumers tend to gravitate towards participation in the winter months, we're frequently trying to pull them towards the summer months as well, just to get them to realize the same things. It just happens in a different direction. So you wish that what we will say, what we tend to see is consumers are pleasantly surprised at the back end of a project when they conclude that in the summer months, because they just didn't realize the benefits it created during those warmer times. And again, you wish they would have understood that a little bit more so, but it's a tricky concept, building science in general. We tend to hear it a lot, and I've had conversations myself with many customers and folks over the years. Basic homeowners, which building science is not a concept that the everyday homeowner really is that intrigued by. All the way up to, I mean, more technically savvy folks and engineers, that it still is kind of an elusive topic. So, but building shell rebates, the insulation rebates here, they're designed to create really complete coverage. So as the word, you read the word shell, which you would kind of derive from that there. So from wall insulation to attics to windows to doors, the whole gamut. The program offers a variety of rebates and improvements where needed. So keep that in mind. It is where needed. So we don't want to go, for example, we don't want to go into a home, identify the attic insulation as at levels of R60, and then leave that home by telling that customer, yes, you need attic insulation. So it's making smart investments into the energy efficiency improvements here. If there's no insulation on the walls, absolutely want to address that. That can become extremely beneficial for them. Next slide. And transitioning a bit off of the nitty gritty details here, we get into some Cleveland area activity that the program's seen over the years. So this is a snapshot looking from 2016 to present. The program has garnered a really great participation over all of Dominion service territory, but again, really kind of hyper focused on Cleveland for this presentation here. What we want to see is all eligible Dominion customers take advantage of the program and reap the rewards and benefits of it. But to do so, we've got to just keep building on that awareness, keep highlighting the benefits, and as Anand mentioned, is just continue to bring awareness to the general energy efficiency concept across the state. Since 2016, the program's conducted, we'll call it approximately 700 assessments a year and paid out around $120,000 in rebates in the Cleveland area. And the result of that is about 27,000 MCF in natural gas savings. So fantastic start, right? But we want to see that. We want to see it more. We want to see more participants. We want to see those numbers elevate so we can really make a significant impact here. So what I would say is participation in these programs, both FADs on the Cleveland housing side and this one on the home performance with Energy Star side, I mean, there's essentially no risk. At the market rate, we're talking $25 to have an assessment, and that assessment's going to be valued, I mean, upwards of $500. So what the participants are going to get out of it in terms of just energy saving products is already going to offset that $25. So there's really no reason not to just try them out and see what's going on. Try and figure out what's going on with the home as well. I think we got some feedback from your side, Anand. Some audio feedback. So here we go. That's better. All right. So kind of our call to action here is where we stand with this one. So on the screen, you'll see a couple different methods and how we would participate, how to go about that. But I mean, it's plain and simple. Schedule an assessment. It's really easy. You can call that 800 number on the screen. You can visit the website. And one of the values of at least starting on the website, just to do your own research, is that it'll help kind of provide just a general customer journey outlook from start to finish. So scheduling, how you navigate that process of identifying contractors, how you hear about the rebates you're eligible for, how you get a hold of the rebate applications to submit those. Again, trying to break it down into basic terms, because yet again, it's not something most people deal with on an annual basis, let alone, I mean, there might be 10, 20-year stretches between folks really having to address major components of energy efficiency. One important thing to call out here is that if you schedule and you do mention the city of Cleveland referred you, you can get the assessment for free, so no charge there. So as we talk about no risks and just there's no reason not to participate, there it is right there. It's $0 commitment that you need to make. You only stand to gain educational benefits about learning of your home, where you need to improve, and so on. I would say I've had, just to throw out kind of a thought here, I've had many conversations over the years with folks just not really knowing where to start these journeys at because they don't have to interact with it too much. And I tend to see two responses. They either go from not knowing where to get their foot in the door, or 0 to 100 and going all the way to like renewables or solar. And not to say that's a bad thing. It's just there's typically a process here that seems to be more desirable or more generating of the end result that's desired here. So if it's so easy just to start with an assessment, and that's typically where anybody in the industry is going to start to direct folks towards, is start with a home energy assessment, figure out what your insulation needs are, where they stand today, make those adjustments or improvements, and then continue that journey on to becoming more and more sustainable over time. And not to overlook here some details on the screen. So assessments, they're going to last approximately 2 hours. Offer appointments Monday through Saturday, and then weekday evening appointments also can become available depending on the time of season. So we try and be as flexible as possible with customers, as we know it's different. I mean, somebody might be available in the morning, somebody might only be available in the evenings on weekends. So try and be as flexible as possible there. One more slide there. Here we are. And then this is really just a quick snapshot to provide some really basic context into, this is just the cover page of the home energy report. So highlighting some of those details that would be pulled out. Like I said, this is really surface level, so we would get way more in depth in this, but it helps provide some additional detail for somebody who doesn't have to deal with this home age, square footage of home, type of heating system, the efficiency of those heating systems, and so on. So looking to take all of those elements and really expand on that 2-hour appointment and highlight what's going on in the house. And then the last slide is thank you. I think I saw a couple questions come in though.
Thank you, Rusty. Can you folks hear me okay now?
Yep, I got you.
Better?
Yes.
Yeah, and I wanted to thank our staff, Felina Selden, who's been posting some of the questions too. So thank you so much. Rusty and Tad and Marie, that was terrific. Just a chock full of information. We still have about 12, 13 minutes. And yes, there were some questions that I had asked, requested to post with moderator. But again, to all the attendees, again, this is just terrific information. It just tells us how much we can do as homeowners and occupants too to take action. And there is call to action that we've listed, right? I mean, if you think you qualify for the low to moderate income programs, connect with CHN Housing Partners. If you think you are market-based programs, we provided you the website for Dominion and the number. And so I've, like as a homeowner, I've certainly benefited from it a few years ago. I think I'm beyond the 5-year mark that I'm possibly going to try to connect again. So thank you, appreciate it. So yes, just so some questions that came in, and also just want to see if others have any questions too. So one question to Dominion, Marie, if you're able to address this, is right. I think our first question is right as just being committed as an energy company, right? I see your chatted, but if you want to talk about it, feel free to do so. It's very interesting in the current state of affairs, right, with the state and the mandates that are being rolled back. Why Dominion is still doing this?
Yeah, so Dominion Energy company-wide has a lot of initiatives to be more sustainable, and we're, I'm getting a little feedback, we're very committed to that goal. Despite any rumblings that have happened in Ohio regarding efficiency programs, Dominion ourselves are looking to expand to do even more than residential. So we're hoping to do even more than we're doing now. And so maybe next year, the following year, I'm going to have some more stuff for you guys to talk about. But we're very goal oriented to be responsible natural gas company. And company-wide, we also have renewable initiatives that we're doing. So we have like an RNG program we're trying to start, and then we have hydrogen blending and solar and wind. So we're trying to be a responsible energy company.
Okay, great. So that's a question that came in. Are any of these programs targeted?
And I'll take that one. And I don't know if I would say they're targeted to renters necessarily, but they're available to renters. So just like any other participant within the programs, just inquire. There might be a slightly different approach and needing to just confirm both landlord and tenant are aware of the conditions and the next steps. But yes, absolutely can have renters participate.
Great. And we've also been putting in resources, so feel free to check them out. And our staff is also going to be adding some more resources from our links. Thank you for coming online. There are one or two questions at least that came in, at least for you. So let me try to get to that. If you can hear me, let me know. Good. Right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So first of all, right, I think CHN, you've been doing terrific work centered on home weatherization. Could you? We're wondering if you can speak briefly about other utility programs such as water and sewer efficiency and utility bill payment assistance that CHN offers, if you've not already talked about it.
Yeah, I touched on water and sewer. So we have a program that if somebody has very high water bills or sewer bills, that they can get that reduced on their payment. And it works the same way with PIP and HEAP. It's based on your income eligibility. So that way homeowners can get that benefit of a reduced utility. As far as the rental question, CHN continues to serve clients who are impacted by COVID-19 and are not or have not been able to pay their rent. And so there's rental assistance for clients that qualify. It is a very straightforward process. You apply if you need the assistance, and you would provide your identification, household income, and letter of unemployment. And this is both for homeowners and this is for tenants who need the assistance. And then you would also need to write something about the hardship that you're experiencing to qualify. And then CHN would take all that information and review it and then get back to you. And we have had a lot of renters receive this assistance over the last probably 15 months since COVID started. So it's been a very beneficial resource to many families.
That is terrific. Very good to know. I also had another question that came in. Do you also channel such customers coming in through your utility bill payment assistance into the home weatherization programs and vice versa?
Can you say that again? I didn't catch it.
Sure. So if there are homeowners who come in and ask for bill payment assistance, do you also try to provide them home weatherization assistance and vice versa?
Right. Yes, we do. So if a client or a customer comes in for assistance and we see that they can benefit from other programs that we already have, we would introduce them to that program and let them know that there are other services that they could tap into that would be beneficial to them. So it's and we try to be as comprehensive in that kind of assistance, just so that we're not just providing one aspect of what we do, because we do have quite a lot of things that clients can actually benefit from. So we try to make sure somebody gets as much as is available based on what brought them in.
Okay, great. That is really very helpful to know. Some questions for CLEAResult, and again, Marie, if you have anything to share or add to this, let me know. I think Rusty, you didn't touch upon what homeowners can do after they get the assessment, right? I think so. Who would they call? I mean, right, is it an approved contractor list? Do they look up the website? And what's the process for applying the rebates after the work has been completed?
Yep. So really simple process, excuse me. But at the time of assessment, that assessor is going to review all those details with that homeowner. So to make sure they're well aware of where to get that information, the website's going to have a comprehensive list of all the contractors outlined by industry type. So whether it's plumbing, heating, insulation, etc. And then they can also print off hard copies during the time of assessment to customers that are interested. And then the second part of that is how they kind of conclude that process is same thing. During the assessment, they're going to get a rebate application from the assessor. They'll review those findings and review what's qualifying during the time of the appointment, so they're well aware of what's going on. But there's both a
Okay. Can you also hear me okay?
I got you. Can you hear me?
Yes. I think we dropped
Yeah.
a little bit at the end.
Okay. So contractors list-wise are going to be shown on the website, so the DEOHPWES.com, and that's going to list out everybody by segment type, so HVAC, insulation, and all that. This is also going to be reviewed during the time of appointment as well, so assessor's going to find that information, review what actually qualified and what customers can take advantage of and who to get in touch with. So again, they'll have it online. Also be able to print off a hard copy as needed. And then the rebate application would be delivered at that same time. So they would be able to review that same stuff within the actual parameters of the forms needed, and then walk them through that submission process, which takes place either by email or via hard copy mail.
That's terrific. So there's a lot of information provided at the time of assessment, right, to complete it. And then the rebate process is something that is followed up later, right? We've also been dropping resources into the chat box, and Marie or Tad and Rusty, if you have any additional information to share, feel free to do so. Let me just do a quick scan to see if there are other questions that come in. Any more questions from the audience? I apologize again for the audio, but I think hopefully you can hear me okay, and there have been a lot of questions coming in. We had a lot of information that we learned today, and that has been really helpful. Questions? Yes, and also there was one question for, maybe this is just a generic question or maybe one for CLEAResult. Have you seen more adoption of specific subsets of measures? Right, there's a lot going on in terms of attic insulation wall and furnaces. Is one that you see more than the other?
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, immediately heating systems seems to be the overwhelming favorite, and heating systems with the subset even within that being furnaces. So that tends to be really popular. We'll see as many as 60% of our projects include some element of HVAC replacement coming into the equation. I mean, I would relate that a lot to, there's just such a strong network of participating contractors that support that piece too. They're state governed, they're state licensing, they have, I mean, all this that goes into that fact. So it packages well with the programs. Now, kind of second tier to that would be attic insulation. It tends to be one of our next top items. It's less invasive than something like wall insulation, but still creates significant impact. So it tends to be an easier pathway for somebody looking to address insulation and not making a more heavy investment in terms of a complete HVAC replacement.
Great. And if there's one call to action that either of you want to share, right, for attendees to leave behind, what would that be? Tad, you want to go first?
I would say, because we're going into the cold season, just check your carbon monoxide detectors, smoke detectors, and make sure your filter is clean on your furnace and that your batteries are good, so that you don't have to be in a jam if with your heating system.
What about you, Rusty?
I would say schedule an assessment. We could do everything Thad just said, and do it for you. So make it easy on yourself. Make sure your home is safe. You've got your filter changed out. There's no gas leaks or anything like that. So not to overwhelm the energy efficiency talk, but the safety element of these programs is huge. So have those things inspected before things get too cold and you don't have as many options on how to address them.
No, I think that's a great segue. Let me see if I can at least turn my video on at the end. We've been putting in a lot of resources here, and I had to turn off my video. For some reason we ran into a network issue. But again, thank you so much. And I think it just kind of reiterates the fact, right, that energy efficiency has a lot of co-benefits, right? It's about occupant comfort, it's about safety, it's about health, it's about saving bills, right? And, last but not the least, saving on greenhouse gas emissions. So all of that have had a significant impact, and we just want to continue to move the needle in Northeast Ohio, right? Any other closing thoughts? If not, I just want to say again, thank you again to all the speakers in this session. Thanks for all the attendees. Any closing thoughts, Marie, Rusty, Thad?
Just want to thank you for the time and for letting us talk about this, and for everyone that took the time to listen, and hopefully you'll be interested in these programs and they would be useful to you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I would say thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk about what we do every day, and thanks for everybody who took the time to be part of this.
Likewise.
Thanks all. We'll be continuing to share resources and do stay connected, and look forward to attending more sessions in the afternoon. Thank you.